Anywho, hey guys, welcome again to another chat of horror. Now, what we're going to go over today is actually not particularly horror, it's in honor of what makes us a little terrified or a little paranoid, and it's one of my ultimate favorites that I actually had to find on Amazon. Till this day, I watch it whenever I go to bed. I know the lines almost inside and out. There's some lines I'm just going to be like hiccuping on. And also it's a little bit off to some people, I would have to say, because when you think of horror, you think I'm going to talk about all like these blood and domestic people, but how like horror stuff can be very fun, and like who doesn't like being scared? Okay, some people like being scared, but I love being scared. It is awesome. Just it does a lot for you, trust me. It does a lot. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the awesome one and only thing that kept me hooked onto Halloween every day is the HalloweenTree. This HalloweenTree. So good. Okay, first of all, I know the people's names. Pipkin, who's technically the main, but he hardly has lines. Like, he probably has not even a page of lines. Then you have Tom Skellington. Freaking awesome last name, by the way. If you know anybody with the name Skeleton as the last name, please call me, text me, email me, comment. I don't care. Just let me know, because that is freaking hot. Yes, that's hot. A guy with the name Skellington? That's hot. Anywho's, so then you have Ralph, you have Wally, and you have Ginny, the only chick who's with 4 dudes. But anyways, so you got these guys, they're probably like in middle school, right? They go trick-or-treating, and it's like their thing, and then they're in this small town. And I love the small town, even though you only get like a little glimpse of it. I would want to live in this small town because of how awesome they are. And just how much they're in the woods. I love having just a big patch of woods behind me. I actually used to have that. They go to trick-or-treating and they meet up their spot and they find out someone's missing. Oh no, it's Pipkin. Pipkin never misses a Halloween. He is like the best kid ever. He just is the leader of this group. His name is Pipkin. This is awesome, by the way. If his name was Pipkin Skellington, I would be married and having his babies right now. But he's not existent, so that's not happening. Wrong tube. Sorry. So, these kids are just like, oh my gosh, where's Pipkin? Let's go surprise him. So they go to his house, which, by the way, the beginning, when they run to his house, it seems like he is so far away. But at the end of the movie, he's just like right next door. So why did it take them so long in the beginning? Just for the movie aspects. And I mean, you don't notice as a kid, but when you get older, you notice like, hey, they were a whole lot further away from Pipkin in the beginning, and they came in through all 4 sides, but this looks like they all just came from one kind of thing. So, going forward, backwards, forward, whatever, they go to Pipkin's house. They realize, oh, there's nothing on his house. There's nothing Halloween themed to their house. And they're just like, oh no, what's going on with Pipkin? Where's the skeletons on the roof? Like, where's all the demons? And it's just like a normal house with just like little Philly thingies on it. And then you see an ambulance. And Pipkin's going in there just like, oh no, Pipkin. And then before he went to the ambulance, he wrote this letter and be like, yo guys, I got something and I gotta go to the hospital and go to trick-or-treating without me. Okay? Just trick-or-treat without me. I'll meet you there, even though I'm probably going to be in the hospital. It's no big deal. It's just just tonsils, okay? That's all I have to do. So then they're just like, oh no, like we're not gonna go trick or treat without Pipkin. Who cares about candy? We care about our best friend. So then like decides to take a path, the scary path, by the way, only suburban kids would go to, probably. Not trying to be racist here, because they are all white. Moving forward, they go to this really scary path. Like, I wouldn't go, but then I probably would go because I'm weird like that. So they go down this path. They think they see Pipkin, and they're just like, oh snap, he was playing a joke on us this whole entire time. But then the other kid was like, oh, he looks a little bit invisible. It's no big deal. All right, we're gonna chase after him. So they're just like, okay, well, since one went, we have to all go, because if he dies, because blood's on our hands, we just can't go anywhere. So they decide to follow him. So they follow him, and they meet up with this scary house that has like 10 billion roofs, apparently. Just so many chimneys and so many roofs, but it's freaking awesome scary house, which I kind of liked. Yeah. So they go to this house, and they're just like, oh, maybe Pipkin's in there. He has to be in there, because there's nowhere else he could have gone in this endless fields of grass and woods. There's nowhere else he could go except going to that house. So they go to that house, knock on the door, and they get rushed way into it. Then they meet this guy named Mr. Moundshroud. I can't say his last name, Clavicle Moundshroud, whatever. And he looks creepy looking, but at the same time, he's very charismatic. Who knew? So he's like telling like, well, why are you dressed as a skeleton? Why are you dressed as a mummy? Why are you dressed as a witch? And why are you dressed as a monster? And we're just like, we don't know, it's just costume for Halloween, because we're just kids, we don't really get inducted into history. And he's like, well, let me give you a history lesson about why you wear these things in Halloween. And then that's where the fun goes. To happiness. That's where it goes. So then, they now make this quest to save their friend Pipkin and his pumpkin soul, because that's what the guy wants. Apparently, he's like the guardian of pumpkin souls. Something. Whatever. So Pipkin is like fighting for his life, and the kids are just like, let's go get Pumpkin. And he's just like, I'm just gonna go on this crazy adventure with these kids so I can get Pumpkin back. Just bear with me, people. It's okay. It's much fun, better than I am describing it. Just still watch it. So, they first go to Egypt. That's where the mummy comes in. And that's my favorite one, because I actually love ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt. Not modern Egypt. Ancient Egypt. Making that clear. I don't know anything about modern Egypt. All I cared about the time was ancient. So that's where we're going. So they go to Egypt. Then, after Egypt, they go to England. That's where they meet the witch, which is history. And then they go to France, and they go on like this quest about like monsters and gargoyles and Cassie. And then, finally, last but not least, they go to Mexico. They go to Mexico for the skeleton. And even though I was pretty sure, I don't want to give it all away. But that's what you're gonna see, like the history of where these Halloween things that we've all kind of grown to wanting to be for Halloween to scare. But this is like the reason why I don't like being just those regular, I'm gonna be a sexy kitten for Halloween, yay! Because Halloween came here for a reason, people. It's not just Halloween, Like, Halloween has a purpose. It's something that happened back in the day that we all just need to celebrate. Because we all need to give the darkness some heroes and some recognitions. And it's not just about scaring. Like, there's stories behind each and every thing that you see. And in a way, that's why I wanted to bring this up, because it shows a nice connection of where this kind of like frightening thing come from. Like, what was the core of it? And that's what I really liked about it, because you do hear about it in your history. You do hear about it in your fairy tales, but mainly your history. And that's where a lot of like these creative ideas came from. Certain things that are completely unexplained at that time really terrified people. And it still terrifies us today. And I think that's a very beautiful thing. Call me crazy. It's okay. I'm a psycho. It's alright. But as I like it, it's a great. I love seeing cartoons that play off Halloween very well. You're gonna get a lot more of these. And I'm pointing at it as if you're looking at it, but you're not looking at it, and that's okay. So, I love this kind of style of cartoon, and I'll tell you the year. It was 1993, so I was 2 years old when this thing came out. And notice when I said VHS. So yeah, you guys definitely watch it. It's a great film. Especially like if you're not that all into horror movies, I try to be very open with my horror movie selections, because I know there are certain things that some people just don't like. Like, I think that's what I like about it, because I like it all. Things like horror, Halloween, and whether it is super like gross and dirty and just or if it's just like, pretty happy, but at the same time like you can tell the person still appreciates the scariness of it. Or I really don't have the proper words for it. I'm sorry, I don't have the proper words. I'm trying here. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying, but I just can't right now. I'll get better. I promise I'll get better. And then it's using the scary stuff, and she's just like, yeah, I'm a witch. What are you gonna learn from this movie? Don't mess with the creepy man that has a bald-shaped head and a very pointy chin and nose. Unless if you're with 3 other friends, maybe 4, but that 4th one, he kind of has to be a little bit of a ghost. He kind of has to be the victim. So then in a way, you guys are teaming up with the creepy guy, and you guys just go along with it. And then you still defeat him and change his heart, because he becomes a better man out of it. Not a rapist, not a murderer. He just lets the kids go. What we learned is that the parents don't give 2 craps of where their kids are on Halloween night, because apparently they're going to be somewhere. And parents are cool with them being out really late at night, not coming home until wee hours in the morning. Friendship is a very powerful thing, and you need that friendship, because whenever you're in a situation of trying to save your pumpkin soul, you have friends that can help you to retrieve it back. But you have to know how to control that pumpkin, because if you don't know how to control it, then you're not going to go far, and you're just going to be stuck in Egypt, at tomb, in your coffin. And that's really, really sad. You can create the Notre Dame with just your feet. It's possible, people. You can create it. As long as it's in your brain and it's in your imagination, you're completely fine. Can't do that in real life, though. But you could probably make a building with just your feet. In your mind. Not in real life, people. Just get that through your heads. Kids are okay with getting apples. And I'm not fine with that. No kid should be fine with having apples. Do you guys know the secret of the apples? It's because people are terrified of kids having cavities because of all the candy that they're getting. Well, we're not going to eat the fucking apples. Just saying. Maybe in a week we will, but no. You can make yourself a kite out of paper and people. True story. In the movie. Very true. And I think that's all we've learned. Oh, also, whenever you're afraid of heights, you're really good at math. Who knew? Yeah, who knew? So that's it for tonight, guys. Stay creepy.